So first, let's talk about motivations. Well, this motivation simply refers to whether or not you are motivated or you have the desire to process this information in a certain route. And this motivation is also decided by two sub-factors. The first one is receiver involvement. It refers to how important this issue is to you. Let's say if this discussed issue is very important to you, something you care, something you feel very relevant to you, then you are more likely to pay close attention to it and process information carefully. Let's say if I present you these two pieces of news. One is about the university tuition fees, right? New Austrian government is to bring in university tuition fees. And second one is about foreigners finance Austria pension system. So if you get exposed to these two news, so which one you may want to read the message or the news carefully, more precise information in a central route. I bet you will read this news more closely because it is something you care, something relevant to you, right? Of course, given your age, probably you won't worry too much about the pension in the future. With that being said, we kind of conclude that probably you're gonna process this news, this story in a central route. It is because you are motivated to read it. You feel kind of involved, you feel relevant with this topic. Let me give you another example. So I'm not sure about the girls in our class, but I could literally stay in Sephora or Douglas for the whole afternoon and evaluate every single item, cosmetic item or skincare item there. I am so motivated to learn the functions of those products and make a careful comparisons and then pick the product best for me. So in this situation, I'm motivated to process the information because I feel it's relevant to me. I care about it. But let's say if I'm gonna ask all the men in our class or the gentlemen in our class to buy us a gift from Douglas, probably they won't do a lot of research there. They would probably just buy whatever the salesperson says good because the gentleman here may feel this is something they don't quite care, right? They feel less interested in it, and they are not quite motivated to process the information in a simple route. The second sub-factor deciding people's motivation is something we call need for cognition. So it refers to a desire for cognitive clarities. So I would say it's more a personality, it's more a disposition. So people with a high need for cognition, they feel there is a need to understand how things around us work. For example, let's say my husband, he has a very high need for cognition. So whenever we find something new, he always tries to ask, why is that, why is this, and how is this working? And I'm the one who have no interest at all. So he would ask me, don't you feel curious? Well, I always say, well, who cares? It's not of my business. It's not of his business too. But he always tries to find it out, to find the answer out. So people who score high in this cognition need would prefer their life to be filled with puzzles that they can solve. And they would very much enjoy a task that involves coming up with new solutions to problems. So basically, if you score high in this need for cognition, you are a thinker. That means you can always get joy and enjoyment from thinking things through, from solving the puzzles and answering the questions. Okay, so that is the motivation, the first factor determining which route you are gonna take. And this motivation has two dimensions, or we say there are two sub-factors deciding your motivation. The first one is to what extent the message recipients would care about this topic, care about this issue. And second, whether these message recipients would enjoy thinking things through or evaluating the message carefully and thoughtfully. Next, we're going to talk about the second factor determining the simple route or preferred route. It's the ability. Pretty much like the motivation, there are two dimensions in ability determining central or preferred route. So first one is people's knowledge. The knowledge you have on this topic or on this issue. Let's say I want to buy a car, and this is a very big decision to be made. But I have little knowledge about cars, about this, these vehicles. So I would ask my friend to, who study automobiles, to recommend several options. And as long as they, the color, the price, appearance are good, I would go with his recommendations because he possesses some relevant knowledge in this issue regarding this decision. And second factor deciding your ability to process information is something in the immediate surroundings, the distractions or some noises. So let's say you really want to study hard for your final exam, but your roommate was playing hard music or your dog was barking. Even though you have the motivation, but you are not able to focus on the exam or on your study, or we could say you are not able to process information in a central route. And this distraction or this noise can also refer to some physical or physiological distractions, such as I'm being so tired, I'm starving, or I'm totally drunk. I cannot process information carefully. Okay, so that is all about this elaboration likelihood model. So as a way to end our lecture, I'm gonna ask you guys to answer this question. So I want you guys to think about this elaboration likelihood model and also make some connections with our everyday life. So here is a question. Why Amazon is so good at getting you to buy stuff? So please pick one product of your interest and use your laptop or your cell phones to look at its Amazon page. Okay, so please do two things. The first one is spot and explain at least three simple cues you observe on its Amazon page. And second, do the same thing for peripheral cues. So spot at least three peripheral cues on this Amazon page and explain them, please. Okay, I hope you enjoy this activity and I'll see you guys in next video.